Welcome friends, I'm Troy. Thank you for joining me today. As you may know, perhaps by watching a video of someone going over some of the features for Battle for Azeroth, for instance, artifact weapons are going away. I'm just throwing that out there, for example, in case someone might have mentioned it in their video recently. You might have seen it. Anyways, with artifacts going away, I thought it would be cool to talk about some of my favorite artifact weapons. And then I figured, hey, I like lists, and if you clicked on a video that says top 10 anything, then I'm willing to bet that you like lists too. Now before I start, a disclaimer. These are my opinion and my opinion only. I have basically no consistent criteria, and the choice of artifacts and the order in which I chose them is merely personal preference. You, of course, are entitled to your opinion. In fact, feel free to let me know what you thought of my list in the comment section below. And let me know what your favorite artifact weapon was as well. Alright, let's get this list started.
Number 10, Ebon Shul, Great Staff of Elodie.
Coming in at the number 10 spot is Ebon Shul, Great Staff of Elodie, the Frost Mage artifact. Wielded by the first Guardian of Tirisfal Elodie, Ebon Shul has a long history of fighting against the Legion forces. Now you're going to learn this about me, but I love water. I love it. I love how it moves, how it looks, feels, how it keeps everything alive and is necessary for any kind of sustainable life. Anyways, I really loved the water design in Ebon Shul, especially with the flow to first look at it for a moment, appreciate it. However, as cool looking as this weapon is, I have to deduct points for it kind of having a boring backstory. Being wielded by the first Guardian of Tirisfal is cool and all, but that's basically all there is to it. Plus, it falls into the pretty common template of powerful weapon is hidden by the Kirin Tor because it's too powerful. So while the design is awesome, the story behind it is kinda meh.
Number 9, Aluneth, Great Staff of Magna.
At the number 9 spot is Aluneth, Great Staff of Magna. Once wielded by Agwyn, the only female guardian of the Tirisfal, he used it in many battles against the Burning Legion. Now first off, just look at this thing. It's glowing, it moves, and the design is just awesome. And besides being wielded by the only female guardian of Tirisfal, it's really cool within itself. So why isn't it high? Well, it has the same problem that Ebon Shul had. Beyond being wielded by a guardian of Tirisfal, it kind of lacks a compelling narrative beyond that, and once again the Kirin Tor decided to hide it. Why? Because they're jerks, obviously. The other problem is, well, Aluneth is kind of an asshole. It's cocky, doesn't care about its wielder, it's clearly power hungry and greedy. Don't believe me? Listen to these. You waste precious energy poking holes in reality for those clumsy sword-swinging brutes. I drink, but I am never fulfilled. More, I must have more. Power. I must have more power. While it has a cool design, Aluneth gets points deducted for having a shallow backstory and just being greedy. I wouldn't want to hang out with Aluneth. Certainly wouldn't want to take it to dinner. Could you imagine that, Bill?
Number 8, Tu'ir, Beacon of Nauru.
At the number 8 spot, I have Tu'ir, Beacon of Nauru, created by the Nauru to protect the Draenei on their homeworld against invading Legion forces. This weapon regenerated wounds, brought people back from the brink of death. It's little surprise that it's the artifact weapon of choice for a holy priest. I, of course, like its cool, glowing design and motion, and I like how it hints at pre-Azeroth Draenei lore. Why isn't it higher? Because I like the premise of the backstory, but to me, there's just not a whole lot of follow-through with it. It could have been used so much more compellingly with the Draenei lore. Instead, it was just to protect and heal them. Kind of a boring cop-out if you ask me. And it's way too obviously supposed to be a healing artifact, and I just don't appreciate that kind of heavy-handedness.
Number 7, Truthguard.
At number 7, we have Truthguard, the artifact of choice for protection paladins. Now, I'm admittedly not the biggest fan of shields, but Truthguard, particularly with the Vindicator's Bulwark skin, is hands down the best looking shield in the game. Truthguard was created by Tyr and Arashidas, Titanic Watchers when their good buddy Loken, another Titanic Watcher, fell to corruption. You see, Loken was the chief jailer of the god of death, Yogg-Saron. Yogg-Saron, being all deathy and stuff, decided that it was a good idea to corrupt Loken, and he did succeed. Seeing this, Tyr and Rashidas gave the Truth Guard to a Vikral champion in order to expose Loken's corruption. Titan lore is pretty awesome, I'll admit, and something I can always get behind. So why isn't it high? Well, as cool looking as the shield is, its sword is really boring. It's basic, and dare I say, it detracts from the beauty of the shield.
Number 6. Light's Wrath.
6, we have Light's Wrath. This is, in my opinion, one of the coolest looking artifacts in the game. It's shiny, it glows, it has animation, and I think the aesthetics of it fit the lore very well. Created by the Scarlet Crusade to be a second Ashbringer, their attempts were thwarted by a Dreadlord who had infiltrated the Scarlet Crusade, causing a magical explosion, thus giving birth to Light's Wrath. The Kirin Tor, being the frustrating jerks that they are, decided to hide it away, forcing you to go get it for yourself. Couldn't they have just kept it in like a display case or something that they just give you the keys for? Like, here's the thing you need to defeat these powerful enemies that are threatening everything you know and love. That would have been so much easier. Anyways, Light's Wrath isn't hard because while I like the reference to the Scarlet Crusade and their insanity, the lore once again falls to that template of the Kirin Tor hiding it away, and I didn't feel like it had any follow-through.
Number 5. Shorastal, Scepter of Tad.
Hold on just a moment before we continue. A very big bias warning is attached to this. Restoration Shaman is my favorite spec in the game, so if this seems a little too high on the list, well, it's my list, so shut up. Starting out the top 5, Shorastal, Scepter of Tad. Shorastal does have the cool lore of being wielded by pre-Naga Ashara, filled with the waters from the world of eternity, plus it was lost at sea when she and everyone else you know and love became a Naga, so it avoids that Kirin Tor template cop-out. However, despite it being the rest of Shaman's artifact and having a kind of cool backstory, most of the appearances just don't do it for me. I mean, other than the Serpent's Coil skin, most of the other appearances aren't all that great looking, to be honest.
Number 4. Doomhammer.
At number 4 is perhaps the most iconic weapon in World of Warcraft history, right alongside Frostmourne and Illidan's Warglaives. This is a weapon that is just seeping with lore and intricate backstory, plus it gets bonus points for being Thrall's weapon, who is hands down the most powerful shaman who has ever graced Azeroth, when, well, we all know how cool shaman are. The problem with Doomhammer is that it's a very simplistic, straightforward design, while the other artifacts on this list have intriguing design with complex arrays of motion, and they glow, and there's water, and they're all beautiful. Doomhammer is just kind of boring. While admittedly, through its many design changes over the years, its look has gotten a lot cooler, but it still doesn't stand up to the other artifacts on the list aesthetically. Still though, it doesn't seem right to put Doomhammer any lower because of what it is and what it's meant to the game.
Number 3. Maw of the Damned.
Alright, getting into the top 3 here, the Blood Death Knight's weapon takes a spot with Maw of the Damned. It's a fitting weapon for Blood DKs because this thing is just absolutely brutal. The lore behind this thing is just vicious. Let me give you a quick rundown. Created by Netrazar to kill Kil'jaeden because he loved him and was obsessed with him and wanted to absorb him. The things we do for love. Netrazar found metal on Nilaham after Sawgrass and his titans corrupted the earth and fused that metal ore with magical properties, thus creating the Maw of the Damned. He poured everything he had into it, his obsession, his admiration. However, his plan to kill his former master was foiled by Gorlix, his former servant. Kil'jaeden ordered Gorlix to fuse Netrazar's skull onto the weapon, which you can see here. Kil'jaeden gave the weapon to Gorlix under the condition that he would prolong Netrazar's suffering for all eternity, and always leave it hungry for more blood and energy, but never being satisfied. Holy crap, this weapon is brutal, and is probably one of the most bloodlusted items in the game. It has great lore and doesn't fall into the Kirin Tor template. What gives then? Why isn't it how it kind of has a generic design to it, and while it's definitely an awesome artifact, it pales in comparison to the next 2 artifacts on the list.
Number 2. Scepter of Sawgrass.
In the number 2 spot is the Scepter Sawgrass, created by hundreds of his servants and used by Orc Shaman Norzal, better known as the Lich King before Arthas, to open the portal that tore Draenor apart, leaving behind the shattered realm of Outland. This artifact is so freaking cool looking, and it has a lot of great, rich lore. I mean, we have references to Legion lore, Draenor lore, pre-Arthas Lich King lore, and its look fits its lore perfectly, all dark and corrupting like. As you may have guessed, my problem with this artifact and why it's not at the number 1 spot is that once again the Kirin Tor decided to take it upon themselves to hide it away. Damn it, I wish they would stop doing that. So while it has a great backstory and awesome lore, the ending sucked. I would have liked to have seen a different fate for the Scepter Sawgrass, and for that it takes the silver.
Number 1. Things of Ashman.
The Things of Ashman take the number 1 spot of my favorite artifact weapons. First, look at the design. It's just stunningly beautiful. And you've got the motion, you got the glow, you got the being a badass saber-toothed tiger god. I'm particularly fond of the Ghost of the Pride Mother skin myself, which is just flat out glorious looking. Then, while other artifacts were strong in one component and lacking in others, like they had a great design but a terrible story, or vice versa, the Things of Ashman are equally strong in both departments. Ashman was one of the riled gods who answered the call of Cenarius to defend Azeroth in the War of the Ancients. While Ashman fell in battle against the Legion, his sacrifice saved countless lives and was put on display in the great shrine of Al-Shara. Wow. What a beautifully woven cloth of lore here. We got wild mythology lore, references to Cenarius and the War of the Ancients, and that lore, coupled with its fantastic design, make the Things of Ashman my favorite artifact weapon. That was my top 10 favorite artifact weapons. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to let me know what your favorite artifact weapon was in the comment section below. Keep an eye out for my next video where I'll be talking about playing with others and how to do that without pulling your hair out. Thanks again for stopping by. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. If you're looking forward to more awesome World of Warcraft content and streams, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified of new videos. Speaking of streams, I will start live streaming on January 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube. I hope to see you there, and it's really exciting.